principles based on core principles that guide, teams in delivering value incrementally and iteratively. So these principles ensures that Scrum processes is flexible, adaptable, and focused on continuous improvement. So we have about 7 of them. And the 7 of them are empirical process control, self-organization, collaboration, value-based prioritization, and time boxing, and then iterative and incremental development. And lastly, continuous improvement. So we have the EPC, self-organization, collaboration, value-based prioritization, time boxing, IID, and then the CI, which is a continuous improvement. Now, empirical process control. Scrum relies on this process, meaning that knowledge comes from experience and decisions are based on what is known. For example, when you are working with a team of software developers, for example, you should leverage on their knowledge and you should use that as a basis for decision. You want to listen to those who have knowledge in the field, right? To also be able to, because it really counts, to also be able to effectively deliver your processes or your framework. So, because if you don't leverage on knowledge, you would have issues with Scrum also, because Scrum is very transparent and is open to learning. So it's not a rigid kind of flow or structure. So you want to hear people out, understand where they are coming from, and see how you can tailor their experience to fit into your framework, right? So yeah. So, and this empirical process control relies on 3 pillars, right? It's transparency, like I said before, inspection and adaptation. So we've spoken about this, where all aspects of the process must be visible to those responsible for the outcome. This include making work progress and goal and key metrics open and visible to the team. So nobody is hiding anything. And, inspection, Scrum emphasizes, frequent inspection, like of the artifact. And what are the artifacts? Who can remind me what the artifact are? Anyone? So you continue to look at the artifact over and again. Product backlog, thank you so much. Anyone wants to add to that?
Sprint backlog.
Sprint backlog, amazing. And lastly, it remains one.
Increments, I think.
Increments, yeah. Thank you, Michael. So you could see that those are the artifacts. You keep on looking at it again to see how, we can make it work. We can improve on them and see how we detect, variances and potential issues. And the adaptation is that if deviation or risk are detected, the process of products or product must be adaptable as soon as possible to minimize further deviation. So we must always stay on track. And so self-organizations, one of the core principles of Scrum is that ability for teams to work together in the way that suits them best, right? And that might sound like, oh, are you saying that they should just work in? No. It's like you guys have to decide how to work best, to accomplish that particular work, right? So you must be open to ideas and all of that. So benefits is that encourage creativity and innovation, right? Empower team members to take ownership of their own work, right? And enhance ability and motivation among team members. And also this foster collaboration, like supports that we work together. So collaboration in Scrum is a key principle where Scrum team work together closely and continuously. So ensuring that all the team members are aligned and working towards the same goal. So this place, there are 3 major areas in this here: awareness, articulation, and appropriation. You as a Scrum Master must practice all of these things, For example, as a Scrum Master, you must be aware of your words, you must be aware of yourself, you must not show anger, extreme emotion, you must be very emotionally intelligent. And some of those things, working with a cross-functional team, especially a team across board, that some might be in Nigeria, some might be in Canada, some might be in America. So you are always, trying to make sure that you are showing you're aware of yourself. And with that also being said, articulation is you have to communicate effectively and coordinate work efforts. And appropriation is adaptation of tools and processes to fit team needs. So like I said earlier, you must know your tools. Right. I've spoken about value-based prioritization. Like this is very important in our projects, right? When you talk about value-based prioritization, we are focusing on delivering the most valuable features, right? Scrum helps maximize return on investment for the stakeholders. So you have to be focusing on most valuable product. And there is a technique to do this. The technique is called Moscow. Moscow. Let me type it here. Right, Moscow. So the full meaning of Moscow, what's happening now? Am I not able to type? Okay. Moscow. Thank you, my dear. Yeah, Moscow is the full meaning is must have, should have, could have, and won't have. So you prioritize based on this must have. What should what we must have. Let me phrase it very well. What we must have, right, in the product. Those are the first thing first. Those are the things that should come first. What we must have in the product. And what we should have can follow. What we could have then can follow. And those things we won't have can also follow if we feel, we can have it, and then we can discard them. But we prioritize first based on must have. Just like our e-commerce store, you must have a landing page. There is no way. That's a must have. A technical guy will tell you that we must have a backend. That's a must have, right? So, and in case you are working in a shopping mall and you want to do something, so what are the things that must be done for this organization to continue to run? Those are your prioritization for this place to run effectively and everyone is productive, right? So, excuse me. Another principle is the time boxing, where Scrum uses time boxing to create a sense of urgency and ensuring that tasks are completed within a period of time or within a fixed period. So there is time for everything that you are doing in Scrum. Right, and that's what guides us, right? And I said it earlier that your sprint is within 2 to 4 weeks. That's a time boxed. Your sprint planning must not last more than 4 to 8 hours. If you are, depending on the kind of product you want to release, right, or service you want to provide. But your daily Scrum must not be less than 15 minutes, right? Sorry, must not be more than 15 minutes. Your sprint review must not be more than 2 hours. Your retrospective must not be more than 1.5 hours. And there are things to ask here. Right, the iterative and incremental development. Okay, so this actually, Scrum promotes iterative and incremental development, which means building the product in small and usable increment and continuously improving it. So the benefit is that it reduces risks by delivering small, frequent updates, allows for feedback to be incorporated regularly, ensuring the product meets users' needs, and also ensure flexibility and responsiveness to change. So this is like, you are releasing it in small bits. So finish your release, you've already tested, and then you build again, and you design. Everything is happening, in one iteration. And that makes it a lot better framework, a lot easier, right? And very effective framework. Okay. So continuous improvement, right? So Scrum encourage continuous improvement through regular reflections and adaptation. So whereby we go back again, we sit down, retrospect, talk to the team. That helps Scrum to be a very effective framework. And then you can inspect your product backlog again. Then you adapt your change, and you can change things and then improve it and then release it. So it's just a perfect way to release, to deliver product. So even as a Scrum Master, you can be a delivery manager. Delivery manager is not that you are going to deliver something for Jumia and all of that, like you are, or a release manager or release train engineer, because you understand the flow, right, on which you can release products within a time frame that is very effective. So as a Scrum Master, you're a hot cake all over the world, right? You can Google it. So this principle form the foundation of Scrum, guiding teams in high quality products efficiently while being flexible enough to adapt to change. Now I'm going to stop here, and the reason is because I will have said we should take more, but I know that there is a way human brain works, right? So I'm going to stop here, right, so that you can process what you've learned, and tomorrow we'll go to Scrum aspect and processes.